Hey, we're at the Toronto Game Expo. I don't know how well the sound will work. It's quite loud, but I made it late, so there's people over there, but that's going to be super fun. So let's walk the floor first, see what we see, and then I'll do the booth. A little more than a month ago, it was the Toronto Game Expo. I already posted 2 videos, one about the Asus booth and one about the Toronto Indie Showcase, which was probably the main thing I wanted to check at the expo. But I didn't have time to finish the last video I wanted to do, which was basically just my general impression about the show and also walking a little vlog style on the show floor, because I had other strict deadline for our videos. So first thing first, thanks to the organizer to give me a media/content creator pass. I appreciate them taking a chance on a small channel, so it's always appreciated. But no content is sponsorized and they have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna say right now. It was my second time at the Game Expo. I went in November 2024 when it was still at the Queen Elizabeth building. The main problem at the other place is that it was so overcrowded that at one point it felt almost unsafe. Okay, so media had from 9 a.m. to 9:45 if you wanted early access. It was suggested that if you wanted to take B-roll of the booths and on the show floor, that would be the only time where you would be able to have a free unobstructed view. They gave us clear instruction how to enter at the loading docks, and the event was in all G. I asked the security guard, and it said, well, technically it's not connecting to each other, like, so you need to go around and walk, like you will see there's dirt, walk there, and eventually you'll get to algae. But I think what I would do different if I would be the organizer is that they had big like banner that like to display where the main door. I would take one of those banner and put it where the arrow is there, with an arrow saying go to the right. But I still feel that like people were like, oh, we need to walk around there, and there's no like sidewalks, so everyone were walking like on the dirt. But because it's like April, it's cold anyway. Like I don't mind walking even like super long distance. It's just that I don't know, like I know it's not the fault of the organizer because there's no sidewalk there and it's a small side street. It's just that like it's really not made for people to walk around there. But anyway, so that was one thing. Put a banner there with an arrow saying go over there, so you don't go through the main hall, and would make things way easier for everyone. But yeah, knitting con next year, I'll cover it. So I walk maybe like 45 minutes to an hour around the show floor, trying to capture like some of the footage that you saw earlier in this video. After that, I went straight to the ND showcase because that was like one of the main things I wanted to check. So that was super fun, and it blew my mind how much talent there is like for ND developer in Toronto. You had a lot of them that were like, oh, we're just finishing college for graduation. We're a team of 8, and we gave ourselves 3 months to make a new game, and the game feels so polished, and you're like, Jesus, this is amazing. Like, so without any particular order of the game I played, those are my 3 favorite one. First one is Soulflame by Alex Eckhard. He said that like it's basically a love letter to game like Celeste, and it's a one-person project. It plays so smoothly. The graphic look like any of those games. So I really hope he's able to finish the game and finance it. So I don't know what's next, because he was saying he was hoping to raise money and finish like the game. Then there was Crownslayers by Iron Mouse Studio. I mean, I really feel that they have a hit in their hand. I don't know, like, you know, we're talking about, you know, it's tough for indie to find financings and things like that. But, like, everything is smooth. I like a good turn-based RPG. The graphics are great. They were saying they're running out of a Steam Deck, and I was like, yeah, I saw the demo, what I tried, and I was like, that would be perfect on my ROG Ally before bed. So hopefully, like, this is maybe another year of polishing and finishing the game. So keep an eye on this one. The last one was Ambrosia Sky by Soulflame. Kathleen Tremblay gave me like a detailed walkthrough of the game. If you get Act 1, you will get Act 2 when it's out. So I ended up buying like a copy of the game. I haven't tried it yet, but I really like the kind of spooky like premise of the game. Now, one thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to kind of test my Viltrox 15mm 1.7 lens. And when I do review, it's easy to do like landscape and low light and animals and pets. But normally, because, you know, I kind of doing that for fun, I'm not gonna hire a model or something like that to like work in portrait mode. So I decided that I would bring my ZV-10 and use it to take picture. So I decided to bring my ZV-10 and ask Cosplayer if I could take the picture. My pitch was basically like that I needed to take picture to test the lens, but like if they were comfortable to give me like a public account, I would upload them in a private folder when they would have access to the picture and they can use them as they wish. And also told them it was okay if they didn't want the picture taken, or if they didn't want to give me their information, that I would like share the folder with all the picture with the organizer. which I should do like the day after this video is published. Honestly, it was my first contact with the cosplay community, and they were like so welcoming. They were just happy to talk about their art and how much time they spend on the costume. Now it's kind of fun. It was kind of funny because being an introvert, and I'm also a middle-aged white guy, which is like 90% of all the serial killer demographic. So I was kind of like, so I'm aware of that. So I would say like, I would just go with the flow and say, oh, you don't want your picture taken? No worries. So hopefully I did it well, but I would say that like 90% of the people were just like happy to like talk about how complicated it was to do the costume, how much time they spent on it, happy to have the picture taken, and like, so that was super good for that. Now, one thing I would change is that I would make a small layout change. You had the main stage at the back, and then you had smaller stage where people would do like a small presentation, and I'm sure it worked well. But at one point they were running a main event. I don't remember if it was a cosplay event or like some kind of Street Fighter tournament, but like it was super loud to do the full building. But at the same time, like you had Athena Cosplay doing a presentation about like this called Disability in Media, what make a good or bad representation. It was an eye-opening, like I maybe lost 50% of like what they were saying. It was not their fault. It's just that the sound of the main stage would drown like the speaker that they had for the small stage. So I'm curious if it would be possible to put like the other small stage on the side to put a little more distance between them, or if it's just like some kind of volume audio adjusting. So, but like I said, most of the things that I'm talking about are kind of like nitpicking. Everyone were having fun. I had a great weekend. I know that like I heard a couple people like saying that like compared to the previous edition a couple years, there's less and less gaming and more art and crafting. So yeah, there was vendor like, you know, like with used game and things like that, but not as many that I thought they would. Now, of course, you know, it's a gaming convention, so I had to grab a couple things. When I walked there, there was like a vendor selling like refurbished slash open box things. So I needed some props. So I got like a Pac-Man. Then I needed a new headset. This was hit and miss though. And they had for 50 bucks like this Barracuda X that still sell at like 100 to 150. So I said, oh, the box looked a little beat up, so it's probably some kind of like box that's got squish. But when I opened them, like you cannot really see it, I was like, ooh, the ear like cushion were like kind of like a mix of brown and like, so, but like basically the first test I did, because I need a multi-console one, is that I plugged the dongle to the Switch too, and it worked and had sound, so I was like, this is perfect. And then I wanted the artwork for behind me. Now the problem with artwork is that, and convention, is that there's so much AI. Like they try to avoid AI, and I'm sure they had policy with that. But when I mean convention in general, not necessarily that Toronto one. So I decided like to get something that at least someone crafted something to do it. So you see like the white mage, well, or the red mage, like it's like all tiny beads. So I was like, I don't know what they did for the artwork at the background, but I thought it was kind of cool to like that someone did it this way. So I ended up getting that. So yeah, I think it was a super nice like weekend. People were just like happy to like have finally a lot of space and it felt open and walk around, check a little gaming, maybe find deal for used gaming. Then if you were looking for craft arts or things to put on your walls and things like that, there was a lot of people. You had tattoo artists if you wanted that. I really feel that like they diversified really well. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.